Welcome to episode 3 of the Concept Glue course, the Lean Process. In the last episode, I talked about what a startup is and how a startup works. In this episode, I'm going to cover really two things: how to start a business step by step, and what can I do, or how can I do this when I'm in school. Alright, so without taking any more time, I'm going to jump right on in. So the Lean Process. The Lean Process is a step-by-step way to launch a startup. That's it. It's the first step-by-step way to launch a startup. A long time ago, they thought you needed a bunch of unnecessary stuff to start a business, when in reality, you don't. And that's exactly what the Lean Process teaches. Notice in the title of the Lean Process is Lean. When you're starting a business, you want to go as fast as possible while using up as few resources or as little resources as possible. The way you do this is really three big steps: build, measure, and learn. And breaking them down even further, you have this little circle chart thing. And I'll go over and explain each of the parts. So it all starts with an idea. You have an idea for a product or a service. All right, so moving on, after you have an idea, you need to create a model, a business model. And from the last episode, you know that a business model is basically the blueprint to your business. Well, how do I build the blueprint to my business if I don't necessarily know what my business is yet? Well, that's why you're hypothesizing. You're trying to figure out what's going to work for your business. Once you have some hypotheses and once you have a business model that you have done some research and it's your best guess, you create an MVP. Well, what's an MVP? An MVP is a minimally viable product. It can also be a service. It's the most simplistic version of your product or service that will sell. What's the core idea that you have? So example, let's take Twitter. So what's the core idea behind Twitter? Well, there are tweets that are 140 characters or less, or 160. I think it's 140. But anyways, not images or video and all the stuff that they do now. The whole core idea is tweets that are 140 or 160 characters or less, and then followers. With your product or service, you want to create an MVP, which is just your core, most simplistic idea. Once you have an MVP, you go on to test. You test to see how people respond to your MVP. So you go and ask people. If you're Twitter, you go and ask people, hey, what do you think of tweets? Are they cool? Do you like them? Based on how they respond, you collect this data and you learn stuff. You learn, hey, people like tweets. Well, we can do more to make it more social. We can add followers and we can add video and images. And those are your new ideas. And those new ideas help you create not so much hypotheses anymore, but actually, because you're backing them up with facts from the tests that you've run, you're filling in your business model and you're updating your MVP to be more and more of just a, VP, a viable product. And you keep on going through that cycle forever. It always happens. You're always evolving. All right, that's the process. It's really not too bad. It takes work, but the overall structure is pretty easy. And don't worry if you're confused by it, because we're going to be walking you through it the entire way. Continuing on, how do I do this in school? Well, like I said, most of the process is digital. It's on the web or somewhere else that you can have on a laptop or a phone or anything. Your MVP shouldn't take too long. You can knock it out in a weekend or just a few days after school. Most of the time, especially with things like testing and that type of stuff, well, you're just waiting around for results. I mean, sometimes you do need to be doing stuff, and that will take time, but the majority, you're going to be just waiting around for results. The one thing that there is a lot of that you will need to take into consideration is thinking. You'll be doing a lot of thinking about how can I make this product better? Will this work? Is this really a good thing to have on my business model? A lot of thought is going to go into your business. Luckily for you, or at least hopefully, you have your brain with you all the time, and so you can think all the time. So you can do this anywhere, and whether it's in the car or right before bed, you will be able to get everything you need to done, and I know the whole process will be easy for you. So that is the third episode of the Concept Glue course. In the next episode, we're going to be going into what your idea is. We're going to be developing that idea and working with your structure and the other people, your instructor and other people in your club to make your ideas great. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next course episode.